Welcome to NBNR, the authority on unfiltered opinions and authentic player insight for Nebraska athletics. Connect with us on Twitter, Instagram, and at nbnrpodcast.com.
We have the saying, no block, no rock.
You know, we just really love Utter. He's a junkyard dog.
Kenny Bell ran up to me and was like, you know what you just did?
You get mad when you go get in the portal and go to another podcast?
You know, usually dumbbells are in pairs. They had 5 dumbbells.
Dang on it, Muhammad!
GBR.
Big red, indeed. No block, no rock. Season 4, episode 10 coming at you. Once again from the Nebraska Brewing Company tap room in La Vista, Nebraska, 68128. Fellas, let's go around, talk about what we're drinking. It is, like 80 degrees out? Even if it wasn't 80 degrees out, I would still be going with my pickle fight. I love the pickle fight, not the spicy pickle fight, because I am SAWFT soft. So I'm going with the plain pickle fight on tap. And you guys have it canned.
Yeah, you can get it in cans, but only at the brewery,
guys.
The
so
spicy pickle fight you can get anywhere.
Anywhere.
Yeah, any retailer. Most retailers.
Spicy pickle fight. Not for me, maybe in very small doses.
Dude, I'm telling you, make it a red beer.
Make it a red beer.
Make it a red beer.
Works.
Or add it to your bloody.
Yeah.
No, I mean, but there's a little bit more in there.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
Well, you guys do that. Well, Mike, what do you got in your cup?
I am currently drinking Good Game, which is definitely the football season beer of the year over here at Nebraska Brewing Company. And we did have a nice comment in the chat from our friend Redcast Rob, who said, do you have pumpkin beer? What about a pumpkin spice stout? Oh. That's a really good idea, Rob.
We do have a pumpkin beer.
We do have a pumpkin beer, and it is the best pumpkin beer I've ever had. It's called Wick for Brains. That's what I would be drinking, but I don't know. Kind of full.
I mean, it's not really like fall weather outside right now.
It's hotter than shit out there.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I'm good.
This feels like, late August, not late October.
Yeah. We're supposed to get snow at the end of the week. So.
Yeah, I know. By Saturday, it might be snowing, and it's 80 degrees outside right now.
Yeah.
Only in Nebraska.
A cold snap is coming.
Is that what it's called?
I don't know. Cold front, cold snap. Kyle Byers, what you got, man?
Man, I was like 2 seconds away from just saying, like, dude, just give me a water. Like, after this weekend, I was I'm still like catching up. I'm still recovering. But he handed me a squeeze the day instead. So
for the listeners, Kyle had the privilege, now that he is an employed person by Hurrdat Sports, he had the privilege to have a media pass for the football game and the volleyball game.
Yeah.
So he was putting in work.
It was electric Saturday night, dude.
You had a day.
Dude. Okay, so I walked over like 12 miles on Saturday. I walked from the Bob to the stadium, did the football game, walked back to the Bob, did the volleyball match. And let me tell you, like, I went to bed Saturday night. I was in Lincoln about 7:30 in the morning. I got back home around midnight. And like my ears were still ringing. Like it was insane being like on the court for all of that. It was just, I mean, it was like a magical night, man.
That's incredible.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll talk a little bit more about this great weekend.
Yeah.
But we got to wrap up our NVC plug. Connor Kevilak. Make it quick.
Yeah, I'm sorry. We didn't set up the bingo card this week, which we should have. But your free space would have been gone because you guessed it. I am drinking the Pilsner. You guys know. You know who I am. You know what I do.
All reliable, baby.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Who do you think I am?
I don't want to answer that question.
That's fair.
All right, guys. Once again, Nebraska Brewing Company. Go buy their stuff from Hy-Vee. Just wherever you buy your beer. It's going to be there. Come to their tap room in La Vista, Nebraska. Connor, help me out. World class?
In every glass.
All right. Now, the best weekend for Husker sports since
ever.
Seriously.
I mean,
we didn't lose.
At least in recent memory.
I'm trying to think. Because, like, you know that if you're going to have a great Husker sports weekend, it's got to consist of a football win.
Yep.
Like,
check.
Like, you know, you can be like, oh, come on, it's not just about. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
100%.
It's a big part.
It's a big part.
That's why we sit here every freaking Monday.
So when that is your number one prerequisite is a football win, there's not too many of those to parse through as of late.
Yeah.
And then you add on top of that, not just a volleyball win, because that happens all the time,
Right.
Yeah, we know they're going to win most matches.
but they snapped a 10-match losing streak.
Yep.
Against the number 1 team in the country.
Yeah.
And not just that, like, it'd be cool if they would have swept them or whatever. Like, that would have been like the ultimate supremacy move. But five sets, baby.
Well,
Yeah.
and like
And won by 2 points.
they were dead
Yeah.
to rights too. Like in that third to force the fifth set.
Yeah.
In the fourth set, they were trailing. I think it was like 19 to 20. Maybe it was 16 to 22 or something. And they
Yeah.
came back. They scratched. They clawed, and it was awesome.
There was a point, I was at a wedding watching it, and there was a point where I actually considered, I was like, oh, we're dead. Like, I'm just going to turn this off and go back to, having fun and not being sad. But I powered through. And it was the greatest decision I've ever made.
I powered through.
Yeah.
Yeah, that second set was pretty rough.
Yeah.
And even that third one was like, damn, serious. Like, they're going to go out like this?
Yeah. Well, and like I can tell you too, like the service errors.
Those were.
Oh, Lord.
I was throwing things, and I wasn't even at my own house.
It was like a collective from the crowd. It was like everybody all at the same time. After every single one, it was like, God damn it. Like the whole arena was just bitching and moaning every time one happened.
It's tough. Like, do you attribute that to the nerves of playing a team like Wisconsin? That let's credit where credit is due. We did beat them. Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot say with any doubt that they're at least the second best. Well, at max, the second best team in the country.
Yes,
Like-
they are very, very good at
And
volleyball.
Yeah.
and let me tell you too, them girls are big.
That 6'8"
Yeah.
monster.
They're big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think her last name's Shrek.
They no,
Damn.
they look like WNBA stars. I'm not kidding you, dude. They like towered over everybody. It was crazy.
And they always have.
They always have.
That's why that's one of the reasons why they've been very good for a long time. Like, going back to your point about the service errors, if it's like Wisconsin, well, I think as much as football has or had, hopefully it's had, that kind of mental block when it came to certain teams or certain moments in the game, when you lose 10 straight times to a team, how does it, and especially the second and third set after winning the first set,
Right.
Yeah.
second and third set were pretty ugly. And it's like, well, how do you not think about, we've lost 10 times to this team.
Right. And
In a row.
you add the atmosphere to it, and then you add the title of the match of the century to it. Like, there's a lot of pressure, dude.
And dude, you said, God damn it. Like, you think the players aren't hearing that? Like, of course
Right.
they
Oh,
are.
yeah.
Of course
Oh,
they
yeah.
are.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
The
The
fans
murmurs
are right there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like they are on the floor.
And let me tell you, there were people within every square inch of that place.
Yeah.
It was packed. Like
I'm
trying to shoot around other cameras and other people just standing. Like paramedics were high-fiving me. I had the event staff. They were all high-fiving people. And at one point, like I wasn't getting involved in all that. And at one point, like one of the paramedics looks at me and goes, "You want in on this?" And I'm like, I probably shouldn't. Like I love this, but I'm working.
I have a question for you, Kyle.
Yeah.
Now that you are media,
Yeah.
you can't say we. You can't.
I know.
we.
How did you do that during the match of the century?
I don't know.
Did you cheer? Did you?
Well,
Yeah,
I'll say this. I did join in the groaning when the service errors kept happening. I'm like, oh, fuck. But other than that, I mean, I was pretty focused on like making sure that everybody cheering and like having a good time were being captured.
Okay, so you were doing your job.
Yeah, I was.
And you put together a
Oh,
fantastic
Yeah, thank
video.
you.
I
you.
would say
Okay.
video of the century.
Yeah,
Hey,
honestly,
I'll take that.
a match of the century got a video of the
it-
century.
Yeah,
so.
absolutely.
Have we, for Kyle Byers, haven't we just reached the point where it's just a video?
Yeah, they're all so
Like,
goddamn
Every
good.
Like-
video, he outdoes himself on every video.
We always say it's, a masterpiece of art, but it's like, it's just Kyle.
It's just
Yeah.
Kyle.
Kyle's
like-
just what Kyle does.
He puts his mushroom stamp on it and
Yeah.
moves on.
I think for him, he just looks at it as hashtag do your job.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's his job.
yeah. Figure it out.
You know?
Yes.
Yeah,
No, but I mean, that's not to take away that they are still very good videos.
yeah.
They are
Appreciate it.
Fantastic.
Obviously.
So last part, if we're going to move on from volleyball, there's one major gripe I have, and it is everyone that I have talked to that has said, What a lame way to win the match on a challenge.
Hell no.
Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. John Cook made an excellent coaching decision.
Why would you not?
Yeah, made an excellent coaching decision against the strongest opponent we could have faced this year. And it won us the match.
Yes.
Shut up about, oh, what a lame way. No. You
stay out of the net. It was the same girl. She was in the net like 2 points prior to that.
No, I heard this from Nebraska fans. Like, I wanted to spike straight through. No, shut up.
Okay.
Take the win.
We saw how it happens when you try to do a spike straight through the 6'8" woman.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes it gets thrown back down in your face. So
right.
Yeah.
I take wins however we get them.
Take the win.
Volleyball, football, soccer.
Yep.
Don't care.
Big Ten,
We take dubs.
Yep.
And I'm good with it.
Dubs.
You know, maybe volleyball is getting a little greedy with the way that they want to win because they've won so much that it's just like, ho hum.
Not to that team.
Come on.
Don't get greedy.
Take it however you can get it, especially against a team that's beat you 3 times in a row.
Yep.
God.
Yep.
Come on.
You know what I love most about this volleyball team? That big old 0 in the loss column.
Yeah.
I don't care how we got to
love
get
that.
there. I love that 0.
You know what's nice about this team is that there's no seniors.
There's 0 seniors.
Dude, they're young, dude.
Like this team will be a problem for a long time for these other teams. So this is fun to watch. Enjoy the ride because all these people that were like, oh, Nebraska, all they have is volleyball. Cool.
Right.
And we're going to enjoy every second of it.
Yep.
I would also point out, as of this current moment, we do have a winning football team.
Yes, we do.
Freaking A.
First
Yeah.
time through 7 games since 2019.
Yep.
So
That
calm down.
over 500 feeling.
Yeah.
Well, let's go to congrats, ladies. Keep it up. 19-0. Keep it rolling.
And as we're on ladies, and I actually don't know much about this, so my comments will be short, but Mike mentioned it. We also do have a winning soccer team too. Just got a piece of the Big Ten title, regular season Big Ten title.
Season Big Ten titles.
We have Ohio State, I think, on Friday, if that's correct. I think it's Friday. Number 2 seed for us. Ohio State number 7. So that'll be in Lincoln. So if you guys are soccer fans, definitely watch, go there, support, whatever. But saying we're just
And
a
if you want to
volleyball
follow,
school.
if you want to follow along, I'm sure you can find it somewhere. Sports.
I'm sure Herd Sports will have it.
Kyle Byers
yeah.
is going to do it.
Yes.
Okay, so let's go to football. 17-9, Nebraska pulls it out. 17-9.
We love it. Hey,
God.
my score prediction was 17-16. I'm just saying that was pretty damn close to happening.
I think,
You're a full touchdown off. And because
I got ours right.
No, I would say your 17-16 is way off because
They weren't
a touchdown is a hard thing to come by.
in that game.
In the West in general.
Yeah, no matter which team you're talking about, a touchdown is like, holy shit, God exists. Everything is a miracle and rainbows and sunshine. Now, before we get into the game and how great it was, how great the rock fight was, how do you not talk about these injuries?
man.
So Matt Rule goes up today to the podium and he says, Ethan Piper out for the year. True Cornhusker. He's more Cornhusker than Herbie is. Ethan Piper out for the year.
Which scares me.
Yeah. Turner Corcoran out for the year. Nuri Noeli out for probably 2 weeks-ish. I mean, that's just the O-line. Then you factor in Billy Kemp.
No, you forgot Turner Corcoran.
No, he said Turner.
Oh, did you? Oh,
Yeah,
you
he
said
said
Turner.
Turner.
Yeah.
So, we've given the offensive line a lot of grief over the past couple years. But I want an offensive line. I want one.
Hey,
I don't know if we have one anymore.
what I did love was during
Gosh.
that press conference today, he got asked, and I can't remember who asked the question, about, who are these young guys are going to have to be moving into the slot. We know that's going to be happening. And if you guys remember, just before the season started, we got asked which freshman was going to have a real impact on that O-line. And I got a lot of shit because I said Sam Sledge. And everyone was like, oh, a true freshman. Like, you think that guy's good? And they talked about Sam Sledge in that press conference today. They talked about, he'll probably work into special teams and stuff like that first.
Right.
But he's going to probably get an increased role. And I am genuinely yes, I know 4 games. I get it.
Relax.
But I'm excited to see what he can do because I think he is maybe not athletic specimen, But like the kid's athletic, that's for damn sure. And I'm excited to see what Sam Sledge has got. So I hope inside those 4 games, I hope we get to see what he's really capable of.
Here's
at least
the thing.
a glimpse of.
People, like the normal football fan, isn't even noticing these little things, but like the guys that are rotating in, we're rotating this offensive line quite often.
Mm-hmm.
So the guys that are coming in right now have been playing quite a bit this year. And Evans Jenkins is a beast. He almost beat out Ben Scott for the center position coming into the year, and he was the transfer, big time player that we went and got to play center after Jurgi left. And so between that and the guard positions, we've been rotating them all year.
Yeah.
And so I think it's a great opportunity to get some young guys like a Henry Lutovsky and getting those guys going. Teddy Prohaska.
Get him going, please.
Get him going.
God.
Right? It's finally, it sucks. The circumstance is never great when an injury happens, but like we've been asking, like, hey, 69 has been playing very good. Are we going to see him? And now we have to see him.
Here it is.
Yeah.
So let's see him.
Coach Rule said today, Prohaska's ready to rock. Said he's feeling great. It's time to go.
Well, he better be ready to go.
Yeah.
He has no choice.
So what else would Rule say?
Because the next
He's not ready. He can't do it. He can't do
Well,
it.
he said that, there were still some, question marks leading into this last week, but he's like, yeah, they're gone. Like he's good to go. And, as much as I understand, like you said, even if he's not, like maybe the need to just say it, everything Rule says, he just seems very genuine. I think he talked about that today too. He's like, I hope you guys know I'm not up here bullshitting you. Like this is real. But yeah, I'm excited for Prohaska.
He's like the most straightforward coach I think I've ever seen in my life. He is just an open book.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, he loves to talk ball.
Yeah.
He just loves to talk football, and he'll tell you everything that you want to know.
Yeah. I mean, it's insane because the previous guy, former head coach Scott, was so anti-talking injuries. And like you could say he lied about injuries. And
he did.
Could say.
I'm just saying. And this guy will go down to the detail of what the injury is, what's the timetable, and just even when guys' years are done, he's still going to bat for his guys. It's cool. It's cool.
Yeah.
Just the whole offensive side of the ball, man. I mean, they're down to like their third and fourth stringers.
Yeah.
At almost every position.
Yeah.
Except for tight end. But it's just like they're stringing this thing together with freaking duct tape.
And if you want to read that kind of goes into this.
What does it say? I can't see it.
Oh, okay. So Herdizzle, our friend Herdizzle, is back on the live stream. He said, what's up with the Heinrich Harburg hate on social? This offense is decimated. Isn't he doing the best that he can with what he has?
So the Harburg hate now.
I haven't really seen a lot of Harburg hate.
You'd probably see a lot of hate if, there's 14 minutes and 40 seconds left in the first quarter, and Heinrich Harburg has thrown his first interception
on the first play.
That's probably a lot of hate going around. And then he throws another reception like in the next drive. There's probably a lot of hate then. Where's Sims? Get Sims. How could it get any worse? I don't know. Even with those 2 turnovers, I was just like, I don't even think Sims crossed my mind. It just didn't for me personally.
Yeah.
So
debatable on that.
I know you're a Sims. That's fine.
I'm not a Sims guy. I'm just saying, like, we haven't seen the turnovers, and then we did see the turnovers. And the first one was like really bad.
The first one was
the second one. Thomas catch the freaking ball. What are you doing?
Yeah.
He had 3 passes thrown to him in that game that he dropped. And I'm not saying they're easy catches, but they hit his hands, and one resulted in an INT. So
yeah,
he's Mackey.
I think it comes down to, and again, sort of bastardizing what Matt Rule said today, is evaluating performance against ability. To say that Harburg is not capable, I would tell you you're wrong. But to sit and, analyze how Harburg played this last week and say it was a bad game, you can say that. It was a bad game. So if you're seeing Harburg hate, I think it's short-sighted. You're probably just, again, reading comments of, that first play of the game, he throws a pick and people are pissed off.
And then again.
Yeah, and then again. So, again, it comes down to performance versus ability. And I think Harburg, while not the best quarterback in the world, we certainly could have worse.
In a perfect world, if we had Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase,
Travis Kelce,
and you could evaluate how they're performing with those guys on the field, you could say, hell yeah, get them off the field or put them on the field.
Well,
at this point, what do we, how can anybody evaluate anybody? These guys are all second and third string guys.
Yeah.
It's just
Honestly, almost entirely.
the entire offense.
I mean, even Harburg was a third string guy going into the season, and he only had his opportunity because Purdy was hurt.
Right.
Groin. A groin is the reason that Harburg is the guy.
And again, how many wins Harburg got?
Shit, I don't even remember. I'm losing track now.
He's got
He's got
4.
so
He's got 4 wins.
Yes.
How many L's?
Michigan L.
1.
1.
Yes.
You want to talk shit about Harburg? Wait until he loses a game that we're not supposed to lose.
It's like this. This is the way I look at it. After the way that game started out, I mean, how many times in the past 20 years have you seen a game start off that way?
Yeah.
Where it starts off with a turnover and ultimately Nebraska loses.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it pretty telling that after 2 turnovers and on pretty much 2 possessions, I'm exaggerating a little bit,
Damn near
that they still did not feel the need to put Sims in, even after that.
Right.
Isn't that pretty telling that
Yeah.
this staff is like, all right, we're riding with old boy here.
Yeah. What that tells you is that their priority on turnovers over just like, maybe this guy isn't as good. Maybe he's not, but he still doesn't have as many turnovers. He still doesn't.
Yeah. I think they're just at the point where they're like, I think he still gives us the best chance to win.
Yeah.
I think that they're just trying to keep it as simple as that. And when he did have to make a throw, and we could say the throw of the game,
Yep.
he did deliver the best ball that he's thrown in his entire career.
Yep.
And Malachi,
Dog.
that dude
Well,
could be special. I'm
Yeah.
just saying he
Oh,
is.
yeah.
It's not like he was just like, it's not like he was just like a little bit open. Like he is so fast. He's like, and I think I told you this in the stands. I was like, I think that's like a Trey Palmer type guy.
well, listen, I mean, the play that they ran, people are calling it the belly G option.
Mm-hmm.
And so the
Points up the
defenders bit, and like I feel like they bit extra hard, but even the slightest bite, that's all you need for a guy who runs a 4.2 40.
Yep.
Trey Palmer-esque speed. Not saying it is Trey Palmer, just saying it's one play.
Yep.
It's one catch, it's one touchdown. But all it takes, especially with an offense like this that is so freaking stagnant and pulling teeth all the freaking time, all you need is just that split second of a defender overthinking or just taking the wrong step, half step, bye-bye.
Yep.
And it's like Trey Palmer last year. Like, bye-bye. There's our offense streaking down the field, throw him the ball. Hopefully this one play opens that door up to him being a Trey Palmer-esque guy on this offense.
Yeah. And I think listening to Rule talk about it, it kind of opened his eyes. He's like, oh,
wow,
we could be incorporating this a lot more different ways than we are right now.
Yeah. Well, and they said
What took him so long?
they said that it sucked that Billy Kemp got hurt because they had revolved a lot of plays around Billy Kemp for that game.
Yeah.
Maybe they try to do the same with a guy like Malachi, who's a lot bigger, faster, stronger.
Yeah.
So I actually had that in my notes. It's like, you talk about all this time. We had so much in this game plan revolving around Billy Kemp. What does that look like? And Malachi is a very solid option.
100%.
I did think it was funny before that Billy G option. Malachi obviously gets a touchdown on. Apparently McGuire walked over to Rule, said Malachi's going to be open, and he said,
tutty.
Yep.
I told him you're nuts. But again, like you guys have said, when you have speed like that, one wrong step from that defender,
Yeah.
Yep.
and he's open.
Yep.
One wrong step.
Yeah, it's insane. And defenses have to play off you. They have to, now that it's on tape.
Yeah.
Now
Purdue seeing that.
now they see that and they're like, holy cow, we cannot let 15 beat us.
Well, so again, they go back to talking about that play, and it's like, you're probably not getting this ball. Your job is to draw those defenders deep and get some low open.
Yep.
So if you're going to spend your time watching Malachi, we're going to have somebody down open lower.
We just hope that they catch it.
Yeah.
That would be big. That would be helpful.
Yeah, with a guy like him, as important as the running game is supposed to be, I mean, we could talk a little bit more about that and how just like, I don't know. I'm kind of disappointed in the run game. It's like, how do you not, I know Northwestern playing for it, and Northwestern prepped all week because they had an extra week of practice to prep for the run game. Maybe that's why you saw Malachi so wide open. You get a guy like Malachi, it opens up the run game a little bit more. Just makes your offense overall so much better.
Yeah.
When you have someone down the fuck it, he's down there somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we said that a lot last year. Maybe we could say that a few more times this year.
It did work against a team that's a little east from Lincoln.
Purdue do?
No, last year.
Purdue do.
Well,
It did work against them.
yes, and it worked against a team.
our
IoLA.
Yeah, that's the one I was talking about.
Yeah, I figured. Well, so again, short question. If now we're seeing Malachi is the athlete, or, again, it's one pass, one catch, one touchdown.
Mhm.
He has at least shown the potential. Why have we not seen more?
So, what took him
As
so
of
long?
this point, why have we not seen more?
Rules kind of talked about it, though. It's just like it takes time. It takes time to get those guys ready to roll. It takes time to put the meat on their bones. There's a lot of things that go into it.
There is.
I am the one that has said, though, like if you're a skill position player, you should probably be able to play earlier because you're using your God-given gifts. After that, it's just, hey, go run deep. Hey, do this, do this. With this offense, though, being so run heavy, I do think it is harder for a guy like a Malachi to get up to speed as fast because he has to learn the blocking assignments.
Yeah.
They are running option. Like there's a lot of things that he did not see in high school. They weren't asking Malachi to block a lot in high school, believe it or not.
Yeah.
So I think, there was growing pains, but now he has no choice. And it's not just Malachi. It's going to be Jalen Lloyd. It's going to be Jaden Doss. It's going to be all those guys. Like, hey, you saw Malachi last week. It's your turn now.
Yeah.
Go.
Well, and something that, like we talked about in the past, particularly when it came to like Wandale Robinson, was that there was so much focus on that one guy and trying to get the ball in his hands. And you have to imagine if your offense and your wide receiver core is so thin because of all these injuries, Billy Kemp was like, we need to focus on him, and let these other guys catch up. Well, now you don't have that option. So it's like, okay, now we need to start trying to get creative here. How do we get Malachi involved? How do we get Jaden Doss involved? You're starting to focus on the bigger picture, I think.
My dream here, because Billy Kemp, from what I've heard with this MCL
sprain,
is that 2 to 3 weeks and he could be coming back. And imagine Malachi during this transitional period. I can't imagine that Malachi will be looked over too much during that time. Imagine he does get those catches, does get that confidence. We've talked with Brandon Riley. We talked about, just those first couple of plays, getting that confidence built. I can't imagine what that just did for Malachi.
Oh, yeah.
So imagine, he gets these next couple of weeks to get a little bit more confidence under his belt. Billy Kemp comes back feeling healthy, and we've got both those guys out there. And, obviously it would be nice to have those receivers we lost early in the season out there as well. But it gives me a little bit more hope for this receiving core.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before you can think about a few more weeks down the line, you're playing teams that we talked about this over and over. You could absolutely lose to.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm not thinking 2 weeks from now when Billy Kemp's coming back. Yeah, right. Thinking about this Saturday.
Purdue.
I'm thinking about Purdue. I get that.
No, I know. But just running through the numbers. So Harburg went 8 for 17, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, 16 carries, 72 yards with a tutty. Emmett Johnson, 12 carries, 73 yards, 6.1 yard average.
He ran good and he ran hard.
And AG, Anthony Grant, 6 carries, 22 yards, 3.7 average. God, Anthony. There's just something's off about that guy.
There's something off about that situation, though. We talked about it in the stands. We're like, no Anthony Grant. We saw Emmett, and we saw
Quentin Ives came in for a play, but Fleeks.
We saw both those guys before we saw AG.
Yeah,
that
I don't know if it's mental. Is it mental? What is it?
So my question: what are Grant's stats again?
6 carries, 22 yards
At 3.7.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fine with that.
It's a good
3.7 is fine with me.
3.7 is fine, but the thing is has Emmett surpassed him? That's kind of like where I'm getting at. Is Emmett RB1 now? And he said today that all three of those guys and maybe even four have to play this year. But is Emmett RB1 now?
Yes. I don't think there's any doubt. I don't know about you guys, but I don't think there's any doubt.
I don't totally disagree with you.
I mean, Emmett.
I would say
he
there's a shade of doubt, but not a ton.
Yeah.
Like
He
less than 10%.
Like I don't think he looked necessarily as explosive. As explosive. Hit it. Just fucking hit it. Just do it.
Hold on.
Where's the button?
Bear with me.
Gosh.
How would you say your mental focus is?
Oh, it's focused.
As explosive as he was against Illinois, but he still had those few runs where like he just busted through the line and he had looked quick. And I'm like, well, I haven't seen that in Anthony Grant in a while.
It's vision, though, to me. I think a lot of his success is just, and it's back to the dancing crap. When AG comes in, it's da, 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 da.
So like, here's the thing, right? When I said 3.7 yard average, you guys were like, yeah, I'm fine with that. But it's just the eye test.
Yeah.
Just like watching him, it just doesn't look great.
I mean, like, honestly, for a Neanderthal like myself, I'm looking for my RB1 just occasionally getting us 12, 13 yard runs, just little gashes.
Yeah.
And just keep hitting it. And yeah, I definitely think Emmett was doing that on Saturday.
Yeah. Her Dizzle said Emmett's ball security is focused.
Yeah.
It's focused.
Joe Biden levels of focus. Oh, man.
Oh, no.
But so, for the running back core in that game, 3.7 was the lowest average. Is that what I heard?
I mean, I just did the two backs.
Yeah.
Two backs, yeah.
Yeah.
3.7 being the lowest, that's pretty good to me.
I know, again, but I'm talking about
eye test. I get that. But, if we get 3.7, let's wear that defensive line down. Let's get them tired. And, that number will start to go up a little bit more.
If we remember your eye test last week when you were talking about
Braylon.
Yes. Maybe you need to get an eye check.
Yeah.
I don't know. Listen,
are there any optometrists that want to sponsor the podcast?
Yeah.
Listen, open.
Any eye doctors out there?
LASIK has done you very well.
Same.
Let me just ask you, Mike, did Wisconsin win or lose that game?
They found a way to win. Oh, you mean the Iowa game?
Yeah. And they lost.
But they did find a way to beat Illinois. And I was really,
yeah, I know.
I was Illinoised about that.
Yeah.
God. Anyway, okay. I do just have to say, like, this can probably be the last offensive thing.
Yeah.
Offensive. First play of the game, look, it's a pass deep in your own end zone. It's windy. Heinrich Harburg isn't a great passer, right? Are we still like,
he's not a natural thrower of the football.
Listen, is Heinrich Harburg a good passer, guys?
No. Well,
okay, let's just no.
I don't want to say no, but
no,
I would. Yeah.
You can say no.
It's just
I'm not saying that to be rude. I think Heinrich Harburg is a serviceable quarterback. I think he reads things pretty good.
Oh, geez. Stop it.
I think he runs well.
He has room to grow in the passing game.
How about
that? There you go.
Yeah, I'll take that.
It's not as focused as
how would you say your passing game is?
Oh,
it's just I don't know. Did anyone else was just as annoyed as I was? Just annoyed. And of course it's interception. Of course it is.
Yeah.
It's just I know Sat's working with not great ingredients right now, but help yourself out in that case.
Yeah.
Like Northwestern's run defense,
109th.
It's not good. And why are we overthinking this?
Yeah.
Why is the first play of the game deep in your own territory a throw? Just why?
And if I'm looking at Northwestern, if I have confidence in my football team, I'm like, I don't need to have some surprise like, hey, first down, we're going to come out here and we're going to throw it. They think we're going to run it because, everybody's talking about the 109th rushing defense. You don't need any of this tricky shit. Just like go out there and just do your thing.
So I will just let me say off on one hand that annoyed me very much. And I'm not calling for Sat's head. I'm just saying it was really annoying. And then later on, the belly G option pass. I give credit where it's due. Okay. So while I was very annoyed with the first play, had that really great call later on. So I'm giving credit where it's due, but I think the play calling overall is just like, it's not Biden focused.
We talked about wanting to eliminate these question marks from the offensive play calling going into the season. And again, I've said this before, and I'm going to continue to say it. The question marks are still there. Again, while there are some great play calls like that Belichick pass, there's still a lot of weird ones.
It's just goofy sometimes.
Yeah.
Like it's just like teeter-tottering, like, in the running back rotation. Emmett Johnson had 12 carries. I felt like he could have used some more. I just felt like he had a good run. You don't need to take him out after he has a good. We always talk about getting in a rhythm, lathering them up, as they say. Why are you? He's not even tired, I don't think. Is he patting his head? Coach, leave him in.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not getting paid millions to be a freaking OC, but Jesus.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Anyway.
On NCAA,
I
have a really good defense.
Triple option all fucking day. That's all I'd run. All right. How far along are we?
Yeah, let's take a break.
We're about time to take a quick break.
Do we have any questions to get to before we hit break or what?
No, I think we had some fun comments. Redcast Rob said, that's how you get playing time with Rule. And when we were talking about Malachi, he says, do the little things.
Yeah, I think he brought up blocking and
and doing those little things. And then Herdizzled, he was in agreement that Emmett should definitely be running back one. A comp for Emmett with adding some muscle could be like a Divine Azigbo.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I think although Divine was sneaky fast, so I don't know. I don't know.
Divine, like
he got faster by senior year.
100% he did.
Yeah,
he's still running against Illinois.
Yeah. And that's what set up the whole like, this strength and conditioning is just way different.
Yeah.
Because it was Divine Ozigbo that just all of a sudden out of nowhere is running like crazy.
Yeah.
And then our friend Nick did say, I'll be that guy, having lived in South Carolina for 6 years. Every one of my South Carolina friends said Coach Sat is our problem.
Yeah.
Well, like if you asked me, like if you put a gun to my head and you ask me, do you see Satterfield being in his post at Nebraska for the next
2 more years?
Well, I'll be generous and say like 4.
Yeah.
I'm going to say no.
Right.
That's just me. I hope he has a long and fruitful and successful career here at Nebraska where they regularly win 8 to 11 games every year, but I just don't see it personally.
And it's going to be very difficult for Rule to be comparing the defense to the offense and like who is succeeding and who is not.
Yeah. I mean,
and we're going to get into that after the break, but
this is me saying this.
About that.
This is me saying this about Sat, knowing that the weapons he has to work are not up to snuff.
No.
And I know that. I recognize that. I am not like blaming him saying he's terrible. I just don't see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were going to say something.
Oh, I was going to make a really weird like allegory here. Like the man's trying to bake a cake, but all he's got is salt and water. Like the ingredients just aren't there
That cake
to make
would be
a cake.
trash.
And we're just doing the best we can.
My neck is red. USA says because South Carolina is doing so well without him, they are not doing very well. They're like 2-6 or something.
Exactly. But he was the problem.
Yeah.
Right.
It's kind of like the Carolina Panthers. Matt Rule was the problem too.
Yeah.
Poverty. Okay, we're going to take a quick break.
Forever and always.
Top off our empty beers, and we'll be right back. Ooh.
everything around me. Cream, get the money. Dollar bill, yo.
We have the saying, no block, no rock.
Thanks, Troy. Guys, we are saving the best for last in this discussion. The defense, the black shirts, more and more every week. They are earning that moniker back, I feel. Just off top, you already know that. I mean, we kind of argued about this stat. I heard 8 sacks. Mike said, no, it's actually it's 7.
Yeah, shut up, Mike. It's 8.
Actually,
You fucking dork.
God, and he said it like that too, like a little fucking rat. It's actually 8, or actually 7.
Yeah, it's 8.
So first guy that everyone is just going to talk about, name their dog of the week. I'm looking at you, Connor Cavalack.
Yeah.
James Williams.
Dog of the week.
Who the fuck is that guy?
yeah.
Who are you? Who are you?
We had to look him up.
Who? Yes, we did. We literally
We looked him up in the stands. We're like, who is
this.
90?
Okay, here's the thing. So when you look up 2023 Nebraska roster, you got to click on the link, and it's numerical order, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I see Mike with his fucking sausage fingers
Yeah.
scrolling. He has to do it like 4 times because it's number 90. It's
Yeah.
at the bottom. There he is. James Williams. Again, who are you? And hello.
Yeah.
I can tell you.
Good
who
to
he
see
is.
you.
I can tell you who he is.
Go on.
He's that dog.
He's the dog.
Dude, in your TikTok you put out about him, was that yesterday? I think you might have released it.
This morning.
This morning.
Maybe last night.
I was waiting to see like that edit of just like instead of the Northwestern QB's face from that Will Ferrell movie. It's just, I'm so fucking scared right now. James Williams, just incredible. Kid got off the scout team on Wednesday this week. Is that right?
I don't even know.
Wednesday
I think it was the
this
day
week?
of the
Are
game.
you sure he was on the roster before this? Are you sure?
Yeah.
Did we get a guy from the Panthers?
Yeah.
This kid just tore it up for his first game of his career.
Well, dude,
Unreal.
I mean, he just came ripping and roaring off the edge. Like, whoa, okay, hello.
He looked like a
There he is.
natural pass rusher, like a real one.
Yeah.
And so
Lanky.
we did look him up. He is a junior college transfer from Iowa Central Community College. And he did have 6.5 sacks when he was there. So that might be his thing.
Right.
Rushing the quarterback, which,
Well, okay. So
believe it or not, you can make a lot of money doing that.
yeah, what did he come here? Like, what position was he going to play? Because I know Rule switched him.
No,
Like, the coaching staff switched him to defensive end, didn't they?
No, he was there. He was a DN with them. He played 11 games. Had
Oh, okay.
19 tackles, 6.5 sacks, 7 tackles for loss. So like that was his thing. And
Oh, okay.
he was
Yeah.
the 2022 Game 1 Bowl defensive MVP at the JUCO level. So like usually when we get those JUCO guys, they never, ever
they don't pan out like
do
that.
what they did at the other level.
Well, pump the brakes here.
Yeah, and there's been a
Who?
I can think of one, but that was a long time ago.
No,
Oh, okay. You're talking like Levante?
He's playing in the NFL right now.
Levante? Randy Gregory?
Oh no, never mind.
Well,
just ignore me. I'm thinking of Samori Torre, but he
Oh.
came from Montana.
No, that's FCS.
Yeah.
So in the post-game presser, Rule talks about, going into, I believe, the fourth quarter, we're up 11, and he brought it up to the team that, you were up against this team 11 last year, and you lost. Post-game presser, they asked him why he brought it up, and he said, pain, his exact words were, a positive application of pain can be helpful. And James Williams was a positive application of pain on that Northwestern offense.
We loved it.
It was beautiful. It was beautiful. The entire defense looked good. I would say
Great.
low tier great.
They
Low
looked
tier
great.
so
I mean, we moved into going into this game, Nebraska defense ranked 24. We're now tied for 21, just in case anyone was wondering.
now I love Matt Rule sound bites, but it does make me pause and think sometimes because on one hand,
He said this.
he wants to say, what happened before has nothing to do with me. That is not my team. And then on the other hand, he's like, I'm going to use all that pain that you felt.
Well,
I'm going to use all that pain.
I'm going to fuel it.
His point was, he was like, I'm not using this for the rah-rah. I want you to, they got us last year. We're going to get them this year.
Right.
It's, you had this lead last year and you dropped it.
Mm.
How are you better this year than you were last? Remember that.
Well, and he did mention
Positive application.
He said, "You think you lost because of this onside kick? No, you had this, and this." He's right.
Yeah.
Well,
although that was probably the most dumbassery thing we've ever seen. It actually got a guy fired. So,
well, there's other things.
There's other things, but
no, but when you're trying to build a culture, it's like you can't hinge your culture on one botched onside kick. You have to, you have to go down deep to the levels of the psychology.
That's what he's doing.
His words were, you cannot come in here, like talking to the players, like, you can't come in here and blame this on coaching. It's like, you need to go out there and beat them.
Mm-hmm.
That's what matters.
1-on-1, 1v1.
He's like,
you need to kick the shit out of the guy in front of you.
He's like, I don't want you to come in here and question what we're doing. I want you to beat the guy across from you.
They did that on defense.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because, he keeps making that point about the defense. Like, I don't care what the offense does. Do what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And we are a defensive football team. It's time for this team to recognize that. Like, and during the presser, he said something like, don't blame the offense, whatever. It's just like, it is what it is. We are a defensive football team. So just do what you have to do.
Embrace it.
At the end of the day, if the team loses, the offense loses, you lose. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who the score at the end of the day is going to reflect every single one of you. So do what you're supposed to do at an elite level.
And again, I'm quoting. I watched both the post game and today's press conference right in a row right before this episode. But he said, we are a defense first team. But that doesn't mean that the offense gets to take a back seat.
No.
They're going to go out there and do their job. Offense, you need to come out here and do yours. Like, you don't get to rely on them to win you games.
Right.
We are a defense first team, but the offense needs to do their job too.
And in the name of consistency, like Colorado's an example in my mind where the defense was put in shitty spots. Of course, we can recognize that. But at the same time, we can say, yeah, you were dealt a shit hand, but you didn't do what you had to do. Like, you are playing for the University of Nebraska. You are on scholarship. You are probably making nice NIL money. Like, there's no excuses anymore. Like, this is big time football.
You're a Big Ten player.
Like, yeah, you can use all these excuses, but you just, bottom line, when the team needed you, when the offense needed you to step up, when Anthony Grant needed you to back him up, you ultimately didn't do it. Like in Minnesota, Anthony Grant has a horrible fumble. Minnesota goes out. They make a tiptoe catch in the end zone. Well, guess what? Defense, you didn't make the play when it counted.
Yep.
So ultimately, don't worry about the offense. Just do what you need to fucking do.
And they did.
They did.
Yeah.
They did.
Because
they rose to the occasion every single time they were told to.
Yep.
And it was awesome because they didn't allow a touchdown.
Dude, think of two noteworthy plays off the top of my head.
Oh, yeah.
So
I already know.
You got Omar Brown.
Yep.
Catching a little
Running
boy.
him down.
Running him down.
And Hartzog getting beat.
Burned.
Catches old guy before he can score.
Yep.
That's just...
It ended up in one field goal. So those two big plays that would have been touchdowns that were ran on from behind ended up in one field goal. The other one was missed.
I take blame for the Hartzog play because right seconds before that play happened, I told Jared, I said, Hartzog's out on an island playing corner again. I think he's more of a safety. That literally seconds later, they throw that. He gets burned. So I take full blame on that. It's on me. It's not on him because I jinxed the out of him. I'm just saying. I jinxed him so bad.
Yeah, it's all...
So it's on me. I take full responsibility.
I will say, compliment to the defense on this. You know, we're talking about Nebraska's offense missing a lot of ingredients. We were 4 for 12 on third down. That's not great. But our defense held Northwestern to 3 for 15.
Yeah.
That'll do.
Ain't that a beauty?
And that was, I mean, all year long, what have we been talking about? Their third.
Get off the field.
Yeah. Third
Kyle,
down
that
defense.
That was what Kyle's been freaking hammering home.
Yeah.
And the thing, too, is if you watch that game, if you rewatch it, there was so many third and double digits for Northwestern. And I think some of them were probably due to penalties, but a lot of it was just due to Nebraska getting sacks and multiple TFLs.
Yep.
A lot of TFLs. Just like real quick, I do want to just shout out, Cam Leonard got up back on the field. I'm glad to see him, even though it's not like he was playing gangbusters necessarily. It's good to see him back.
He looked explosive, though.
Get back in the groove. Again, like Nash Hutmacher, excuse me, are mockers and makers lately.
Mockers and makers lately.
Nash Hut Maker, 2.5 sacks. Like watching him again, I said last week, NFL dude, it just seemed like that big motherfucker was running everywhere.
Yeah.
The dude has a motor.
Yeah.
And if his belly's bouncing, whatever, he's freaking moving, man.
Yeah.
Again, that's the eye test thing with me. Just watching him move. He moves very well for a guy his size. 2.5 sacks. Awesome. Rule went off about Ty Robinson. Oh, his draft stock. Couple rounds
seems drastic.
Hey,
I noticed.
I know.
But you guys understand what he's saying, right?
No,
he is doing the grunt work for a guy like James Williams or a guy like Nash. They're making plays because Ty was firing off the ball. He was wrecking havoc. And he had 1 tackle.
Yeah.
But the stat sheet doesn't show everything.
It's the same thing again, going back to the Malachi thing. When they told him on that go route, you're probably not getting this ball. Your job is to get these guys open.
Yeah.
It's the same thing that's happened with Ty Robinson. But again, my complaint is not that Ty Robinson wasn't dominant.
Mm-hmm.
My complaint is a couple of rounds in the draft? That seems excessive.
We will.
A couple of picks.
This guy knows football more than all of us sitting at this table. He was also just in the NFL.
Yeah.
And he probably knows a couple people. So
Sure, that's fair.
if they were to ask him, hey, who do you compare Ty Robinson to? He might have some guys to name, and hopefully they don't play for the Panthers because they suck.
Yeah.
Speaking of guys that Matt Rule might know in the NFL, you guys, I'm sure, heard the quote where a scout came in and said, Nebraska is the second hardest practicing team in the country.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, Matt Rule said, it seemed like he was reluctant to say who the number 1 was. And of course he says, the University of Georgia. Does that shock anybody? No. But that is nice to hear that, we're out there and we're going hard. And I loved his whole spiel about why we go out and practice in the cold. He's like, the only game we'd play in a dome this year is the Big Ten championship. He's like, we're going to practice in the cold. We're gonna play in the cold. We're going to practice in the cold.
Believe it or not, we're probably not going to play in a dome this year. It's kind of what he's telling you.
Yeah.
I do have an interesting stat here that I actually only saw because I was looking for that third down percentage. Nebraska Northwestern had the exact same amount of rushing attempts in that game. Northwestern averaged 2.1 yards per carry. That's that Nebraska rush D. They've been dominant all year. I'm up until recently we're, I believe, tied for first, if not solo first. But Nebraska had 4.2. We were exactly twice the average of Northwestern's rushing.
Sure.
But yeah, I found that really funny that we really shut down that run. Again, that's what our defense is kind of built around. But
Another guy, Isaac Gifford. Look, Isaac Gifford makes freaking plays. Dude's a freaking stud.
That play that he made on that screenplay, that was the best play call they made all day. And I was like, oh, that's a perfect play call. We blitzed everybody on the one side.
There he goes.
It was set up. He had a wall in front of him, and Isaac gets past 3 blockers.
Yeah.
To bring down the guy.
And the main blocker had him by 140 pounds. Something like that. Like
he said, whoop.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Makes plays,
I think the announcer, I rewatched the game because obviously like I was running all over the place, but I rewatched the game and the announcer was like, that guy wanted it more than this guy.
Yeah.
This guy and this guy and this guy. I mean,
Isaac, there's too many dog stamps to hand out this week, but Isaac Gifford's getting one. That's a dog.
That was incredible.
Mm-hmm.
That's just plays we have not seen at Nebraska. We have not seen that in so long.
Mm-hmm.
Individual efforts like that, like running down the run that. How many times have we seen where guys just give up? They give up. Oh well, poor me. He runs it down, and guess what? We hold him to 3 points.
2 different times.
Yes, it's just, gosh, this defense is special. Tony White is special. It's going to be fun to watch, guys. And all these guys besides Ty and Nash, I think Nash will be probably looking at his
pro career.
Maybe. I would if I were him.
Yeah. I would.
Especially being that size, things happen to guys that big.
Yeah.
But like, it gets you excited for the future because most of the guys playing are young.
Mm-hmm.
As long as we keep them, got to keep them.
Yeah.
I know there's still 5 games left, but like a big thing that we have always talked about is like the amount or lack thereof of all conference players.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you look at that defense. I mean, it's kind of a problem because it's like, well, you start naming guys and it's like, oh shit, I might have forgotten somebody.
Right.
Like that's how great they've played so far.
But do you think the Big Ten looks at them that way? Because
I mean, again, there's still 5 games left, but
I know.
I mean, are they looking at 1 year of tape?
Yeah.
Are they
They're
only
supposed to look at it for that year.
Right.
And I know that us as Nebraska fans play victims a lot. But if you're like, okay, who's going to be the best team as a tackle? Well, Michigan's really fucking good.
Right.
So then we have to put that, Ohio State's pretty good. Penn State's pretty good.
Right.
Then you start throwing these guys that are super, super talented players at Nebraska, but they're not playing for the best team in the Big Ten.
Yeah, they're not.
Right.
So I don't know if they'll get the love and recognition that they will at the end of the year, even if they continue to play like this.
It does become tough looking at defensive rankings right now.
Yeah.
You've got Penn State at 1 overall. I'm not shocked. Michigan at 3, Ohio State at 4, Rutgers at 8 kind of shocks me a little bit. I wouldn't have expected them to be there, but the next Big Ten team you see is Nebraska at that 21 slot.
Yeah.
And then Iowa at 23.
Yeah, but their defense is so much better than ours.
Yeah.
Shut up.
No. But I think, and you make great points. Like, obviously, the Big Ten East is going to make up a lot of those teams, whether it's first team, second team, third team, whatever. But in years past, you couldn't even even with everyone on the defense, on the roster, you go down name by name and be like, no.
They didn't get honorable mention.
No. Maybe JoJo, but it's like everyone else, no. But with this defense, there's over half of the guys, it's like, maybe, yeah.
There are some guys to be considered.
Hello.
Some guys to be considered at the very least.
Yeah, James Williams.
Yeah.
James, I think, will only play in 4 games this year.
I would assume so.
And we have to throw the conditional thing on here. Northwestern gave up 45 QB hurries. That offensive line gave up 45 hurries against Penn State.
They suck.
So, I mean,
they're not great.
There is a gray line here.
Yes.
Yeah.
But here's the alternative, Kyle Byers. Here's the alternative.
Yeah.
We hear about all the pressures that Northwestern gave up against Penn State. 45 of them. So, what's the alternative, Nebraska? Oh, you didn't put any pressure on the quarterback. What the fuck?
Yeah.
That's the alternative. But here's the thing. They did that.
They did.
They did it.
And Tony White installed remember the 3-3-5 thing, right? For Northwestern, because he's a coach, a real good coach, right? He put in a package with 5 defensive linemen.
Yeah.
In this 3-3-5. No, it's a multiples type defense.
5-3-3.
He put in a 5 linemen. And he's like, this team can't block. All right, cool. Let's throw an extra lineman at them and see if they can block it.
Yeah.
Let's go.
They couldn't.
Nah.
They could not.
Very nice.
Very nice.
So
Wow.
to your point, we maybe haven't played the strongest O lines this year, but Nebraska is top 10 in sacks so far with 24 total on the year.
Love that.
We're number 8, baby.
Love that. It's one of my favorite defensive stats. That tells you a lot. It tells you so much. And
Tells you nothing.
No, hey, I just like it. We're in top 10.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I thought you were being. I thought you were joking.
That's one of my favorite stats is the sacks. Because
My
how many
favorite
years have we
stat.
gone with
Kyle loves
3 sacks in a year?
sack.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. We haven't had we always use the Randy Gregory thing. We haven't had a true pass rusher since Randy Gregory. And sometimes this defense, especially Saturday, looked like we had a lot of Randy Gregory's running around, honestly. So it's kind of cool. So they weren't jumping in the stands trying to fight anybody.
Hell
so.
yeah. Well, that's next. Come on.
That's next.
And before we kind of go over to Purdue, Tristan Alvano, 47-yarder in the wind, LFG.
LFG.
We love that.
Mike, you love that.
I do.
Give him his fucking shine. Baby.
Hey.
Plus, give him his flowers.
Hey, he can have daisies or whatever
You
he
should have
wants.
heard this motherfucker the whole game.
Oh my God. Here we go.
Let's sit next to Mike.
Here we go.
Oh, boy,
But every time I did it, the opposite happened. So I just
Yes.
got to keep doing it. All right.
George Costanza and Seinfeld. if I just do the opposite. Okay. Now, Purdue, Nebraska, a 2.5 point favorite.
That line has adjusted a lot today.
A lot. Okay, go. You're the fucking better.
Yeah, I as I'm talking, I'm actually going to be opening the lineup. So it opened as a 1-point game, which at one point I actually wasn't super mad about. I I figure this game might be a shootout just because of the injuries we've had in the past couple of weeks. So actually, it is 2.5 right now. This morning, I saw it at 3. I think with this most recent presser today, talking about the players that are out, we're going to be missing a few guys for a few weeks, not including, the full year out guys. 2.5 still kind of worries me just because we are going to be, playing some guys who don't have that kind of experience.
Well, they always say like home. If you're a home team, it's 3 points automatically, right?
It should be.
I mean, that's what they say, but it's only 2.5. So it's like, ooh.
Yeah, but we started at 1.
Yeah. So that tells you, I mean, this is definition of coin flip.
Yeah. Pick them.
Nebraska, guys, I'm gonna throw this around each of you. What do you think Nebraska's record against Purdue is all time?
I think it's.
We got it. I don't know.
I think it's pretty even.
They've played 11 games.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's even.
Well, I mean,
I will say,
I think it's pretty close to even.
I will say 7-4 Nebraska. Just a guess. I have no idea.
I feel like this is a trap.
It might be.
So I'm going to go 4-7.
5-6.
Damn it. That was what I was going to go with initially.
It's just one of those stats where it's like, oh, shit. Yeah,
Yikes.
These past couple of years have sucked. Just in case you needed another reminder.
Yeah. I don't cry myself to sleep already.
So before the season, I had picked this as an L. This was one of my games they're supposed to win but won't games. I'm thinking about my prediction later. We'll see if I come off that. I'm still kind of thinking. But Mike, you got some stats ready for us.
Yes.
Run it down.
Well, so I wanted to just kind of compare. We talked about Northwestern having like the 109th rush defense last week. It's like, okay, can we move the ball on these guys? So we're going to go through a couple things as far as rankings go. Purdue's offense is ranked 78th in the country, and that's total offense.
We're probably below that, right?
Our offense?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
120th.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was going to say.
Their defense is 91st overall in total defense.
Great.
We're 23.
Yes.
Okay.
Their rush defense is 80th overall in the country, and their pass defense is 91st. So, like, they're really just not good on the defensive side of the ball. Either way, like, they don't have like, I'm better at. No, not really.
Yeah.
No, you kind of suck at both.
Yeah.
But we're not good on offense. So
yeah, I was like, we just played a team that defensively we were like, there's a pretty clear cut route to wins here, and that felt like it was like that game. While we won, felt like it should have been a little bit easier. So I'm not going to overlook Purdue,
right?
But those numbers make me a little bit happier. But I'm still very nervous. Every game I'm a little bit nervous.
Yeah, just as someone who I have not watched a lick of Purdue all year.
I have not at all.
Okay, but just like as an outsider, if you will, I look at Ryan Walters, one of the best defensive coordinators, and I say defensive coordinators in the country. You would expect his defenses to be pretty good, maybe not necessarily this year, but in the future. One stat that you did not say, Mike, and this is maybe where the whole Ryan Walters thing in my mind comes up, is they do average 3 sacks a game, which is like their best stat.
They have like 24 as well. Like, I think they have the same amount as us. So
yeah. So I mean, that's just
they can rush the passer.
Yeah. When I see those 3 sacks, I'm like, okay, so they're probably like very aggressive.
Purdue averages exactly 3 sacks. They have 21 on the season.
21. Okay.
Yeah. So that's just, and of course you factor in how shitty Nebraska's offense is and their injuries that have cropped up. It's like, yeah, I could see this just, of course, being, what do we call this month? Rock Fight October. It continues. It's not going to end. November is going to be a rock fight too.
Hey,
so
do you want to know what I'm very grateful for? Aiden O'Connell's in the NFL now.
Sure.
Yeah.
That makes me very happy.
Hudson Card.
That's the Texas guy.
Horns down.
Hudson Card. What to make of Hudson Card? And there's no Charlie Jones.
He's an athlete playing quarterback, similar to what we have. Just saying. I think Hudson Card was actually like a 5-star quarterback, though, coming out of high school. So
Under Armour.
Yeah. So he's very talented. I don't know.
I don't know.
Matt Rule said today that it's tough to simulate a guy like Hudson Card because he is so fast. It's because he's so fast and he's very, very athletic. With that being said, I think our defense will have a plan for a guy like him.
I was going to say, what is there to be said about, I mean, you said their offense was ranked, 78 overall? Yeah. What is there to be said about, I wouldn't even call them middling. I would call them lower end offense with a not so great defense. I mean, not to get off topic, but you look at USC with Caleb Williams, who is a fantastic quarterback, last year Heisman winner. They can't win games because they have no goddamn defense.
Yes.
You're going up against a defense now in Nebraska that is, you can't say not scary. It's a scary defense.
It's just going forward, man. The only question that we have to ask ourselves about this Nebraska team is, are they going to score enough points?
Yes.
Right.
The defense isn't even like, I think they've proved it through 7 games. Like, this is who they are. Mm-hmm. There might be a fluke here in the next couple of weeks. We'll see. Hopefully it doesn't happen, but there's probably going to be a fluke game. But it's just, the question is, can Nebraska score enough points? Can they just get by for another week?
Well, I think this week presents a very interesting opportunity for Nebraska, because I feel like a lot of teams, Northwestern coming into that game had to have known, we had 3 receivers out. Game plan's probably going to be revolving around Billy Kemp and Fedoni. Billy Kemp now gone. So what, are you just going to plan for Fedoni? So it gives Nebraska, I think, a really interesting opportunity to draw up some funky stuff and keep people on their heels, because no one really knows what Nebraska is going to do because no one's seen them yet.
I'm the opposite. I think Nebraska needs to just keep it simple and do what they're good at, which is running the football.
I'm not saying you go funky all the time.
Yeah, no,
but it gives you an opportunity to get funky if you need it.
Get funky.
Maybe. I don't know. I think creativity kind of falls out the window when you're down 3 offensive linemen and you're down 4 starting wide receivers. So
and 2 running backs.
I think they need to do find a strength, and running the ball is a strength. So I think they need to do that. And if it doesn't work, keep doing it, set it up, and then maybe you'll have one over the top.
But so again, here's what scares me about, keep trying to pound the rock. How many offensive linemen you just say we're down? 3?
Yeah.
Are we going to have the blocking?
Yeah, I think we will. Like I said, the guys that are in right now are guys who have rotated and played quite a bit this year. So,
I mean, you got to, again, start with that run. But if you get to a point, 2-3 drives in and it's like, oh, fuck, this is just not working, you're going to have to get to that funky stuff, to that belly G option, try and get Malachi down that go route.
We talked about, I mean, that defense, it sounds like is pretty aggressive. So if they're going to be sending 4 or 5 guys a lot, it's going to be a lot of screen game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have to
figure out what works. Figure it out.
What I've heard from quarterback play is usually good quarterbacks, they see where the blitz is coming from, and that's usually where they throw the ball.
Yeah.
We're going to need Harburg to be a quick decision maker, and he's going to have to make elementary throws. And I hope that the play calling enables him to make elementary throws.
If you remember in that post-game presser, Matt Rule talked about specifically, the ascent of a quarterback.
Yeah.
Your first game's in, you're playing fast, you're playing on instinct.
Mm-hmm.
You get a couple of games here where you play slow. And he talked about in that Northwestern game how a big detriment was Harburg just played too slow. He was taking too long.
Yeah. That
so
throw
I don't
supposedly was Borkacher was wide open on that first pass of the game, which I don't know why we were passing the ball in the first play of the game. But apparently Borkacher is wide open. So
he was.
Got to figure it out.
Yeah. So I guess that becomes the thing is, if we got to play fast against this defense, I hope Harburg has, moved past that phase.
We talk about how great the defense is. And I think back to last week against Northwestern, how you turn the ball over twice in 3 possessions, putting your defense in awful, awful situations. And, one of these games, guys, one of them, it's going to come back and bite them. They are going to break. We did see it against Colorado, and it's been a while since we've seen it again, but it's going to happen. Is it going to be against Purdue, Wisconsin, Iowa? Who knows, but it's going to happen sometime. I am prepared for it. I've talked myself into this. I will not be mad when it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So Guys, predictions, scoring predictions.
Okay.
Let's start with not me. Connor, do you have something?
I knew it was
You
coming.
betting fiend, you.
So
You're constantly running numbers in your head.
yeah, and this is again a game that I'm not totally set on. So if you see me on Wednesday nights, it will be back on Wednesday this week. We were a couple of days late. The Cover Corner on TikTok and soon to be on Twitter and Instagram. We are 23-3 on gambling picks this season. 23-3.
I mean, that's not bad.
88.4%. I did the math this morning because I was pissed. I went down from 89.5. I'll take 88.
Why isn't it 100?
Jeez. If I was at 100%, brother, I'd be on
Wouldn't-
Fox Sports or some shit. by
Yeah.
now.
He wouldn't be living here anymore.
Yeah. As of right now, I am going to call this game 21-10 Nebraska
21-10. 11-point win.
and a Skurs cover.
You can still hear me.
Echoey.
KB. Kyle Byers.
Merwin says 27-20. Nebraska.
27-20. Mervin, what's up, baby?
I love it or hate it. Love it or hate it. Nebraska resembles IoLA. They do.
Indeed.
A good defense and our offense isn't as bad as Iowa's. They are at a 2-year streak of historically awful offenses. So
Putrid.
yeah. Iowa scored 20 points against Purdue. Purdue scored 14. So with that being said,
Yeah.
I like your 21
Mm.
and I'm going to say 17 for Purdue.
I was
21-17.
almost there too.
21-17.
I was almost there.
So 21-10, 21-17.
Nebraska wins.
And that's still a cover.
Yep.
I'm going to say 23. God, 23.
Yeah. Well, is there a missed
Is that for
PAT in
Purdue?
there?
Is that for Purdue or Nebraska?
Or is it 3 field goals?
So I initially picked this an L at the beginning of the season. I am trying to be optimistic here, guys. 23-21. Nebraska.
Wow.
All right.
You're saying per don't covers.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
See, I don't think about that shit.
Oh,
Maybe
I
I
do.
should, but
I do.
23-21, Nebraska.
I've got Purdue covering, and I have my score prediction being the exact same as last week. 17-16 Nebraska.
God.
Because I just don't know if this offense can get out of its own way.
No, 23, I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, I just don't. I understand Iowa put up 21 on these guys, but I'm sure defense did something for them, and our defense doesn't take the ball away like Iowa's does. So
True.
right, I'm saying 17-16 Nebraska. Her Dizzle says 20-11, and Merwin says 27-20 Nebraska. I would have
win.
Yeah, and her Dizzle was
win.
Nebraska. So okay, I think the last thing we need to talk about.
So we're all 4-0 for Nebraska.
Yep.
Last thing. IoLA hit it.
Did you guys hear they lost?
Did you guys see the way that
You fuckers.
Did you see
You
how,
pieces of shit.
you guys see that Iowa lost? That was funny.
So it's funny because I know there's at least one Iowa fan that listens to this show every week. Sarah.
Fuck him.
No,
Fuck
it's
her.
it's a woman. But we did have a conversation about this before the show, and I had a misinterpretation of what the rule was. Kyle explained it to me. Iowa just lost. That wasn't it wasn't a bad call.
It was. Look, you guys had 12 total yards in the second
Yeah,
half.
fuck you guys.
Like we've talked about this stuff with Nebraska for years. Like you should never be in a position to where that play lost you the game.
Yeah. 100%.
You had 12 total yards in the second half.
That's
So-
gross.
I listened to the Kurt Ferentz press conference,
Yeah.
and I will say this: I don't say nice things about that guy, but he did say, whatever your fines you're going to give me before I start talking, put it to a children's hospital. So we like that part.
Yeah.
And then the only thing he said about that play that I thought was funny was that he said, I don't know how we got there. How did we get to that point? They were reviewing to see if he stepped out of bounds.
Right.
And for those of you who missed it, just Google Iowa fair catch.
Yeah.
Just Google that. You'll find it. I
It'll be
bet
the
you
first
do.
thing that pops up.
I think Kurt doesn't understand the rule. And with a
Nobody does.
game determining play like that, it has to go beyond the field referee review guy. It had to go beyond that. It had to go all up to, I think, Pittsburgh is where it ended up. And they looked, and it's similar to like volleyball. If you review a play in volleyball, you can go back and it's say that the ball hit the ground earlier in the set. They kept going. Then you're reviewing a touch. Well, they can go back and say, well, the ball actually hit the ground.
Right.
So once the review is on the table, it is on the table.
Right. They're going to look at the play from start to finish.
Correct.
Yep.
That play was a big moment in the game. And I thought it was fucking hilarious because Iowa did not deserve to win that football game. They did not deserve it. And that would have been the most Iowa thing, is to pull that win out on some BS like that. And I will not knock the return because it was nice. Incredible. And I won't say nice things about Iowa very often, but that was an incredible effort, an incredible return.
Yeah, Cooper.
But a special teams blunder going against Iowa is just beautiful.
Yeah, chef's kiss.
Yes.
I will say one other nice thing about Iowa.
Pass.
I do have a GoFundMe to save Brian Ferentz's job.
Yeah.
If you would like to donate.
Dude, I'll say, like, okay, so this was literally like the whole disconcerting signal that Cooper DeJean made. We were watching it while we were walking away from Memorial Stadium. We were watching it in the Blur. I saw it in the Blur tailgate TV.
No reflex.
Yeah, whatever.
I thought he was just a little drunk, and it was just everything was
a blur.
Yeah, and I still saw the when it happened, dude. Like before the refs stepped in, I'm like, "Are you freaking kidding me?
Yeah,
they're gonna win like this."
Yeah,
and then,
knowing all those stats, how putrid their offense was, like, of course they're gonna win like that. It's the Kirk Ferentz devil magic. The St. Louis Cardinals used to have devil magic in the playoffs. Devil magic. Hell no. Not today. Not today, Satan. Now, that being said, if that happened to Nebraska, I'd be so fucking pissed.
I would burn it down.
Oh my God.
I would burn it down. And
Oh my God.
It's better that it happened in Iowa's shitty team.
IoLA?
Yeah.
IoLA fan out there, if you are watching or listening,
I hope you are.
you would be mad too. Yes, I would be fucking pissed.
I would be pretty mad.
It doesn't mean it wasn't a good call. I just would have been mad.
Let me put it this way. If that happened to Nebraska, do you know how many IoLA fans we would have in our comments and DMs and everything else? So I don't give a flying fuck about, no. I don't care.
You have to ask yourself, what if it happened to your team?
I would be fucking pissed.
But it didn't.
Do you know what the best part of this whole thing is? Now, every team in the Big Ten West has at least 2 losses.
Nope.
Yes.
Wisconsin only has 1.
Are you sure about that?
They didn't lose to Illinois. They were supposed to, and it would have been a big tie.
Damn it.
No.
Yep.
So that sucks because I was Wisconsin. If they would have just finished the choke job they were doing, they would have caused a 4-way tie in the Big Ten West. It would have been awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, either way.
With that being said, let's hope Wisconsin continues to lose.
No, Wisconsin has 2 losses. They're 5-2
in the Big Ten.
In the Big Ten.
No, yeah, I'm talking overall. Every team in the Big Ten West has 2 losses.
Well, we just care about conference record.
Right. Record.
Hey, I didn't say in conference.
But that's the one that matters.
That's fair.
The conference record is what matters.
That's right.
For determining the Big Ten West champion.
Hold on, didn't we argue about this last year?
Maybe.
About conference records. Connor.
They matter.
Well,
I didn't say that.
No. Yeah. Just how they worked.
Yes.
We can have this discussion off camera, off mic.
Hey, Wisconsin still got to beat Nebraska.
It's facts. The tricky part is, though, is that Iowa beat Wisconsin. So that tiebreaker thing falls into that, too. So
Wisconsin, number 1 in the West. I just looked at it.
Yeah, they are number 1 in the West.
So let's just beat Iowa and Wisconsin.
I'm down.
I'm down.
Duh.
I'm down.
We do have a realistic shot.
We
Is
have
it
a
likely?
shot to win or lose
It's there.
every game.
Yeah.
Usually we can't say that. Usually it's like, Michigan, we're going to lose that game.
Yeah, like 5 games in. we're like,
Moving
West is
forward,
out.
every game left, we have a chance to win,
Yep.
but we have a chance to lose every game because our offense.
Yep.
Nebraska, guys, in November is coming up. Nebraska controls their own destiny.
And if they make a bowl game, guys, mark your calendars. NBNR will be doing a live show in a city near you.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Mike's making all these promises.
Provided you live near whatever city we're in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Whatever city. If they make a bowl game, we will be there. And we'll be doing a live show. It will be awesome.
Especially if it's in Detroit.
Why would it be in Detroit?
Mike will be there with bells on.
Oh, it'll be awesome.
Yeah.
Because
That's why they call it the Windy City.
That's right.
Mike will be in Detroit and he will love every second of it.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. Anything else?
No, just want to shout out Heard That Sports Bar for the awesome pizza and corn nuggets.
Yeah.
It's great.
Dude, those corn nuggets on it and the onion rings. The onion rings that are honestly undefeated.
Yes, they
Undefeated.
are fantastic.
Nebraska Garage Solutions.
Nebraska Garage Solutions. Use the code NBNR and get a discount if you want to get all that crap off your garage floor. Have all your vehicles in the garage for the wintertime. Isn't that nice? You could have a sweet tailgate spot in your garage.
Yep.
And then finally, B&B Maids of Omaha. If you need your house cleaned, if you have an Airbnb or a rental property, you give them a call anytime of day. They're going to be there. They're going to clean everything out for you. If you're a future potential ad that you would like ran on this NBNR podcast, we are available. Reach out to us. We will advertise anything. We will sell out, guys.
Oh my
God. We will 100% advertise it. Whatever you want.
I'll do anything.
We will give plugs. If you want
anything.
If you want a shout out for your kid's birthday, whatever.
I'll do anything.
We'll do it.
Yeah.
Reach out to us. You can follow us anywhere.
I'll do anything.
At NBNR Podcast.
Maybe this is a free shout out, but Norman Ole's cannoli.
Oh,
Hey.
Norman always, yeah.
Come on.
They had cannolis at the NBNR tailgate this weekend.
Hey, if they're good enough for Matt Rule, they're good enough for us.
It was so funny. I stopped by the tailgate just to film some things, and I'm like filming you guys. You guys are all cooking on the grill or whatever, and it just I saw this shine, and I looked over and I was like, "Are those Norman Ole's?" And he was like, "Sure enough,
You ever seen Pulp Fiction?
If you
Opens up the suitcase and it's shining on his face.
Yeah,
yes,
that's exactly what it was
the
like.
cannolis from Norman Noli's are fantastic.
If there is anyone deserving of a free shout out, it's Norman always.
Well, Norm is my friend, so he gets shout outs.
Norm?
As long as he keeps giving us cannolis, we'll keep shouting him out as much as he wants.
Norm is my friend.
Yes, Norm is my friend.
All right, guys. So go to nbnrpodcast.com. We have merch. We have past episodes. Go to our Spotify, NBNR Podcast. We're on Spotify. We're on Apple Podcasts. We are on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, at NBNR Podcast. Go follow us. Give us a 5-star review. We need it. Guys, I'm one of your hosts, Jared Hall.
Mike Delaware.
Kyle Byers.
And Connor Cadillac.
As always, beat Purdue in GBR.